Hi, my name is BB. I don't have a college degree. I am not an expert. I'm a 30-year-old, boring, bland female who wants a teaching degree, but I don't think I'll ever have enough money to afford that. Cost of tuition is too expensive. Cost of college textbooks are too expensive. I don't have a laptop. I don't have a computer. I have an iPad and a phone, and that's it. Kind of hard to do schoolwork if you don't have an actual computer, because you can't really do typing assignments and long essays on an iPad, even if you have a keyboard for it. It just doesn't work. iPads are great for streaming your shows and playing some games and basic notepad, but to do actual schoolwork, research, assignments, Google Classroom, Google Drive, educational, sharing websites, turnitin.com, blah, blah, blah. You need an actual computer. And in this day and age, who needs a giant, clunky, bulky desktop when you got laptops? I'd like to have a MacBook. I've never had one. MacBook started getting to be all the rage, I think, about 2010, when I was 20 years old and going to school. And all my parents would do was, give me a bunch of floppy disks and USB thumb drives. For all the money they spent on USB sticks and floppy disks, they probably would have saved more money by just buying me a laptop that would have gotten me through my courses, my classes, and maybe I wouldn't have dropped out or quit going to school if I had had the proper tools to be able to do things on my own time without computer time limits in the student library, in the student computer labs, at the public library with computer usage time limits. And my home life was uncomfortable to do any schoolwork in. Anytime I was home and I wanted to do my schoolwork on the desktop computer, my mom would constantly interrupt me and say, "I need to check my email." That didn't help when I was doing legit research or online research or Googling things, trying to find links to this and links to that, and citing my notes and creating footnotes and learning how to format stuff in ALA format, because formatting was a true weakness of mine and still is. Yes, I have a fat face, and yes, the camera adds 10 pounds, and yes, my eye contact fucking sucks. I'm aware. And yes, my voice is kind of cracky. My camera presence is not fabulous. So anyways, here are some books that I recommend to people who want to get back into teaching themselves without any self-imposed deadlines, without any school deadlines, without any ridiculously short course schedules or student calendars or school calendars. If your local colleges go by semester, you have more time to procrastinate. If you go by quarters, you don't have enough time to put it off till later. But you don't even have enough time in winter quarter to take more than one course, because sometimes coursework can be ridiculously heavy and other courses can be super light, and you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get until you get it. So, some books. The Big Fat Notebook series. According to Amazon, there are 2 more books published by this series that you can pre-order on Amazon, and they're designed at the high school level. One is a geometry, and the other is, I believe, chemistry. And my husband has those on his wish list, but he's not pre-ordering. He recently just bought the math edition and the computer science coding edition. These 4 over here we've had for about a year now. English language arts, American history, science, and world history. These are great, man. These are hella great. They're great, I'd say, for 5th grade to college to adults who just want a good reference book in an educational format that you can skim through on your own time without any deadlines, without any assignments. And the great thing about these books is that there are little pages with a lot of questions in each book. We're going to start with I'll show you the science. Oh, there it is. Check your knowledge. Now, every chapter in these books has one of these pages. Check your knowledge. And so it's just basically word problems and formulas and math problems that ask you basic things. Let's see what is the force that attracts masses together? I'm going to go with friction. Why does a bowling ball have more gravity than a soccer ball? Because it's dense. Soccer balls are light. I don't know. When you push a shopping cart, the friction that is opposing the motion is called blank, blah, 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 friction. I don't know. Resistance, maybe? What is centripetal force? I have no idea. Why does a feather drift back and forth as it falls? Something to do with its weight? What is the name of the upward force exerted on a boat of water? I don't know. What is the buoyant force of a dog that displaces 10 pounds of water? I don't know. The last one is 10 pounds. Gravity. I got that one right. Gravity. Rolling. Okay, well, working machines. Unit 5. So let's go to the table of contents. This is what they look like on the inside. They look kind of doodly. Has this fun intro page section in every book. Here's a table of contents. These are secular, faith-neutral, non-religious. If you're the type of homeschool parent who wants everything to be Christian, born-again, nutbag, foo-foo, you're asking too much of the educational world to teach your kid, but at the same time, not teach your kid. Sometimes you just gotta accept the fact that not every homeschool material you buy is going to be Christian, born-again, thought process conditioning. It's not so much brainwashing as it is thought process conditioning with specific types of diatribes and biases blended into the editing and formatting of specific lessons. More about that in another video in the future when I have an actual camera and video editing software and a laptop. None of that is connected to God, so don't you dare. Yes, I have tiny hands. So anyways, that's that. The computer science and coding book, I have no idea how to read it. I don't understand it. It has a lot of coding techniques and different things that you type into your computer and on different coding software and whatnot. Lots of different types of definitions of coding and material and ideas. I'm just not quite sure about that. I think the book I liked the most was the American history, and after that, the world history. Now, as for the math goes as far as number system, ratios, proportions, percents, expressions, equations, geometry, statistics, probability, and after that, coordinate plane and functions. So very much your middle school to early high school. Now, math in high school is very different from one school to the next, from one student to another student. Not all high schoolers are going to make it past Algebra 2 by the time they graduate from high school. They could be in what's called applied math, which I was in. They could be in Algebra 1, they could be in Algebra 2. You get the picture. Some students will make it to calculus and advanced calculus 2 and advanced math, trigonometry, fractals, statistics. But I think that high schools should have math electives for students who maybe they passed Algebra 1, but Algebra 2 is out of their realm of grasping the concepts. And if you put in a different math elective, they could still get the credit. Or if they could do independent study with other curricula besides the one brand name that the school wants to use for all their books, for all their classes. No one single math curriculum is going to work for every single student. High schools, middle schools, grade schools, all alike. There is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all. So you are better off having multiple brands, multiple styles of math available to meet the needs of all students. Special needs, no special needs, regular students who are on track for most of their classes, but they don't make it past Algebra 1. And they finish the Algebra 1 with a C- or just shy of a D. They don't need to repeat Algebra 1. What they need is a math elective. Maybe statistics, maybe sports statistics, maybe an intro to consumer math, which is, math in retail, math in the workplace, math in logistics, math in inventory, math in the workforce, in the workplace, money math, pricing math, learning how to break big retail prices into reduced sale prices and breaking those down into discount prices and breaking those down into clearance prices. Different types of practical life skills math sounds a lot more logical of a math elective or a math unit in high school rather than Algebra 2, pre-calculus, Calculus 1, Calculus 2, trigonometry, macroeconomics, microeconomics. No, consumer sales math. That sounds a lot better. As for science, same thing. When you don't have all your math credits, a lot of high schools will deny you advanced science credits or science electives because they expect you to pass Algebra 2 to be able to take physics or chemistry or zoology, botany, ecology, etc., etc. And that's not fair. World history. They still might require a math credit of Algebra 2 to be able to take an advanced humanities course. Same with American history, English language arts. I took one social studies history elective in 11th grade, and that was law and justice, law and society. We ended up doing a mock trial that was on sexual harassment in the workplace. We had law students from a local university come in to be our mentors. And a history, social studies teacher provided the classroom and some basic resources and materials, some assignments, some writing skills. Basically, when you're in high school, there should be alternatives to the tradition. And even in math, there needs to be more alternatives in public and private high schools alike for students who aren't going to make it past Algebra 1. Or maybe they're not going to make it in Algebra 1 and they still need their math credits. What are you going to do? Give them a bunch of math folders and math packets? That doesn't help solve the problem of their inability to grasp a certain concept of math. Maybe you're using the wrong brand or the wrong name. One size does not fit all, people. One size does not fit all. And I think there's a lot more to education than teaching everything in one uniform way. And that is my goal, to educate the people on in the rest of my future videos. There's always more than one way to teach a concept.